Hi, welcome back. Our previous lesson was on shift in the demand curve versus movement along the demand curve. Today we'll be tackling individual supply. Quantity supplied of a good or service is the quantity that sellers are willing to sell at a particular price during a particular period, all other things unchanged. Now, this relationship between quantity supplied and the price of a good can be represented by what we call the supply curve. To draw the supply curve, we need to know the price of the good and the quantity supplied of that good at each price. Let's consider a simple example of the market of apples. On this table, we can see the price ranges from 1 to 5. At price 1, the supplier supplies 100 apples. At price 2, quantity supplied is 200 apples. At price 3, quantity supplied is 300 apples. At price 4, quantity supplied is 400 apples. At price 5, quantity supplied is 500 apples. Now let's use this information to draw our supply curve. The first thing you need to know when drawing a supply curve or any curve in economics is that the price of the good is on the vertical axis and the quantity supplied is on the horizontal axis. In drawing this curve, point A here on this curve shows that when price is 1, quantity supplied of apple is 100. When price increased to 2, quantity supplied increased to 200, which is shown on point B. Point C here shows when price increased to 3, quantity supplied also increased to 300. Point D here shows when price increased further to 4, quantity supplies also increased to 400 apples. Then finally, when price increased to 5, quantity supplied also increased to 500 apples, shown on this point E. Now, when we trace these individual points, we get our individual supply curve. Now, the supply curve shows the quantity that a seller is willing to sell at each price. You can see that as price increases, quantity supplied also increases. This means that the supply curve is upward sloping. What this means is that when prices are low, quantity supplied are also low. But as price increases, quantity supplied also increases. The reason for this is that price influences profit of firms. So when the price of the good is higher, it means that the profit opportunity for firms has increased. So because firms aim to maximize profit, they will increase the supply of a good in which the price has increased. And in the reverse case is such that when the price of a good reduces, it means the profit opportunities for that good has reduced. So firms will reduce the supply of that good. Now you can also see that at price less than 1, the seller will sell 0 apples. This is because for many companies, there is a point where price is sufficiently low that it is in their best interest to minimize their losses by temporarily shutting down operations until prices rise again. In defining the quantity supplied, we mentioned that we hold all other factors constant. What we mean here is that there are many other factors that affect quantity supplied apart from the price of the good. But in drawing the curve, we restrict the relationship to prices and quantity supplied. What we are saying here is that if we ignore the effect that all other factors have on quantity supplied, what is the relationship between the price of a good and the quantity supplied of that good? And this is represented by the law of supply. The law of supply states that the higher the price, the higher the quantity supplied, and the lower the price, the lower the quantity supplied, holding all other factors constant. Now let's look at this curve. It shows that when prices increase, the quantity supplied will also increase. And this will be represented by a movement along this curve. So this is what we mean by the law of supply. As prices increase, quantity supplied will increase. And as prices decrease, quantity supplied will also decrease. This is all that we have for our lesson on individual supply. Our next lesson will be on market supply. If you enjoyed today's lesson, consider subscribing. Thank you.